Hi there, everybody. Here we are, about to learn some wisdom from the Psalms and wisdom from worship. What can worship possibly do as far as adding wisdom into our lives? Well, God made the largest book in the Bible all about worship. So he wouldn't be wasting his time or our time if it didn't mean something, if it wasn't able to make something of our lives. We're going to read in verse 1, Psalm 14, "The fool says in his heart, there is no God." Listen to the self-talk of the atheist. What are you telling yourself about the world in which you live? It won't matter how many degrees you've earned. If the conversation inside your head doesn't acknowledge God, it is nothing but sheer foolishness. If even demons believe and tremble, then to say there is no God is the kind of atheism that you won't even find in hell. The atheist is the original fool on a hill, the fool on his pedestal. Today, atheism has found new expression. They arrived at the turn of the century, at the turn of the millennium, with the events of 9/11. One dreadful act of terrorism affected everyone, made us all suspicious and apprehensive. And in its wake, some new atheists gained popularity. They too were scared, and fear fueled their rage. They were angry at religion, angry at Christianity. They were angry at God. They decided he couldn't exist anymore. These new atheists don't have many weapons in their arsenal, but what they lack in intellect, they make up for with contempt. They like to mock. How could an all-powerful, all-loving God permit suffering? They like to sneer. In the Bible, they say, God commanded genocide. And with a wave of their smug little hands, they dismiss God as though he had no right of reply. But God has replied by sending his Son. When Jesus stepped into history and healed the sick and raised the dead and loved his enemies, he proved that God is better than all of our expectations. It's intriguing because the new atheists have no issues with Jesus. He was a good man, they say. A great teacher, maybe even the greatest teacher, they say. But they don't want to say Jesus is God because they're still angry at God. But the only logical conclusion anyone can reach when considering the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus is God is real and he is better than anything we could possibly ever invent. The problem really is one of perception. William Blake said, "The fool does not see the same tree that a wise person sees." That's a matter of perception, the way we see things. The band Muse wrote a song, "Thoughts of a Dying Atheist." They sing about what is really going on inside the mind of the atheist. Its sad refrain screams, "The end is all I can see, and it scares the hell out of me." That reveals the psychology of the atheist. They're afraid, and fear breeds all manner of contempt. That's why in his treatise to the Romans in chapter 3 and verses 10 to 12, Paul, the apostle, draws upon Psalm 14 to explain the diabolical consequences of unbelief. And he talks about fear and corruption and depression and oppression. He points out that this psalm exposes the foolish ramifications of atheism, and it's not pretty. The only alternative is faith, faith expressed in worship. If a fool says in his heart, there is no God, then anyone who says in his heart that God reigns must truly be wise. So it is true, therefore, that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. God bless you today, you wise people who believe in God. God bless you today. You have more wisdom than all of the foolish universities combined. You're truly wise. Have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.